Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am participating in a YouTube hop today called the Favorite Escape YouTube hop. All the information is below. I'm also using Flair from a Flair for Buttons, and this will be on their blog as well. So I'm starting with this photo of my daughter at the beach, one of our favorite escapes, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And I'm using Amy Tangerine's Brave and Bold collection, which I purchased from the Paper Issues store. And I decided, my thoughts initially when I was picking out papers and things was before I started the camera, I pulled out a bunch of papers that I thought I would layer behind this photo and put it on white cardstock. And that was about all I knew that I wanted to do. So I wanted to use this photo and use that awesome green color and maybe some of that blue. There are also some cards on the other side of that blue paper that I thought I could also cut out if I wanted. And then the other thing that I pulled out was that striped rainbow paper. I didn't know if I would use that or if I would use that as maybe border around the outside, this black and white paper for some pops of black and white, and some pink. So I pulled those out and I decided to layer a bunch of things on this underneath my photo on this white paper. The other thing that I did ahead of time is I pulled out some flair that I thought would fit the sentiment of the layout, but also match the colors that I had chosen. And then I looked through the ephemera pack initially before I started the camera, and I pulled out the stuff that I thought I might use. I pulled out way more than what I thought. What happened here is when I moved things off the white paper and they fell onto this blue paper, I was like, what? I have to use this blue paper as my background. And so now I just kind of have changed gears and I decided to use this blue paper as my background. And I really like the way the photo pops off the page. I like the way the embellishments pop off the page. The other thing that I like about the blue paper is it has, obviously this is a B side and so of the paper in the collection. And so it just has a real small print within it, but it also, I don't know if you can see the white, weathered look kind of about it. It almost reminds me of the waves of an ocean or something. And so I just really like the way that it looked. So that's what I chose. So I kind of stopped cutting the layers because I thought I probably have enough layers and started to move a different direction. And another thing that I did just a second ago was I stopped the filming so that I could cut around the outside of the paper and cut off the branding strip and that sort of thing, move some things aside because I knew I was going to use the blue paper at this point. The other thing that I did off camera just now was I used my Silhouette Cameo and I cut a few little butterflies because I always put butterflies on my page if it's about my daughter. And I have a whole story about that in another video. And if you're interested, let me know and I can share that with you. It's another processing video that I made. In 2008, I started using butterflies on all of my layouts that have my daughter in it. So I'm using my T-square ruler to add the words favorite escape, which is the name of this hop, but it also fits this photo quite well. So I decided to use that as my title. I can't remember, honestly, where the white thickers came from. I've had them forever. So I pulled those out of my stash for the word favorite. And then the alphas for escape also came out of this Amy Tangerine collection. So I thought I was going to use flowers at first, but I'd also pulled a bunch of circle elements out of the die cut pack, and I really liked the way the circles looked. So I went ahead and just grabbed all those and put them on my page. Then I found this paper also in the collection, and it had some more circles on it that worked perfectly if you use a 1.5 inch punch to get those smaller circles. And then in a few minutes here, I'm going to punch another circle that is a 2-inch circle, I believe. So I punched those thinking I might add some more circles to my page as well. I don't always use circles, but it is definitely one of my favorite elements to use on just about any design because, I don't know, I guess it's my favorite shape. It works really well with the flair as well because obviously the flair is circle, so it just adds to it. You can incorporate them. You don't have to use circles on your layout to use flair, of course, but I like the way that it looks together. So at this point, I'm trying to decide if I have that rainbow striped paper, and I don't know if I want it to have a stripe along the side on the left or the top, or if I want it to go all the way around, or if I want it to go on the side and the top. That's what I'm kind of trying to think about as I'm moving a bunch of things around and trying to figure out where to put all of my butterflies. I also was auditioning some flair in there. I definitely pulled out more flair than what I thought I would use. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to use that pineapple, did I want to use the one that said vacation, etc. I'm going to use a few hearts from the thickers here. Foam, I don't know, stickers, I guess is what they are, from the collection. And they have all the colors of what I'm already using, and they have them in hearts. And so I'm going to add those to the page, across the page, at the top and within all the little elements. If you are someone that watches my videos already or follows me on social media, you know that oftentimes I do a lot of ripping of paper. I like to rough up my paper using a distress tool, which you saw me doing earlier. So I did that for this layout. The other thing that I like to do is I like to add tangled thread under things. So I start with green here, but I actually think I end up changing it to orange tangled thread underneath that fun circle there. The fun came from the die cut pack, and I just glued that on top of the circle that has rainbow. I don't know if you can see that, but it has a rainbow kind of around the outside of that circle. And then, let's see. Oh, and then the heart was from those thickers there that you see on the left. So I added that little element to that, layered those together. I like the way that looks. I'm using my T-square to kind of figure out how to keep everything as straight as I can. I don't always care about that, but for this layout, I felt like it needed to be relatively straight. I'm experimenting with cutting some circles out of some other papers at this point. I know I don't use that black and white, but I can't remember if I end up using any of the circles that I punched. I think I used a couple maybe. So we are in Gulf Shores, Alabama, actually more specifically Fort Morgan, Gulf Shores. Those are the places that we go when on spring break. And we didn't go this year because of COVID. And actually, this photo is from last year. And we did go. COVID was in the United States, but it was not. It actually became a big deal right around when we went to Gulf Shores. We went ahead and cut our trip a little bit short and came back a little bit earlier than we had expected to come back, because while we were down there, they ended up closing schools, and so the toilet paper wars had already begun when we left to go to Gulf Shores, but there wasn't a lot of cases yet, and so we felt fairly safe being able to isolate on the beach. And we weren't staying in a hotel or anything. We were staying in a house just for us, so we felt fairly safe there. And I don't regret going at all. And I am thankful, though, that we did come back early. So anyway, this was one of our last days on the beach because they did end up closing the beach. So what you saw me doing, the same paper that I punched those circles out of, they had these strips that I cut out. I used my scissors to fussy cut these little strips out. I like to, if you watch my videos much, you know that I really don't like things to kind of hang out by themselves. I like things to either be grouped together or touching each other, or I don't like my title to just be out there by itself. It's like it doesn't have a home. And so sometimes I might add some stitching, or I might add some color or something, some mixed media. But I decided that I was just going to put one of these stripes underneath there. And I thought I might write on it, like I might, put a little line of journaling, or I might put the date. But what I decided to do was put Gulf Shores on there using stickers. So I ended up off camera there. I turned off the camera because I was frustrated. I couldn't get Gulf Shores to fit. So I ended up putting two together and moving them around a little bit and treating it as if it's one word instead of two. And I don't care because it worked out just fine. So I went ahead and added Gulf Shores there right underneath my title. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to kind of messy cut a line at the top so that peeking out from underneath there will be this branding strip that has that stripe on it. And now it kind of messed up what I was going to do with the circles. So now I have to kind of rearrange here what I'm going to do with those circles. It takes me a little bit to move things around. I'm kind of doing things backwards on this layout than what I usually do. Like, usually I don't glue anything down to the end. I definitely don't put my title before I glue other stuff down, but I don't know why. I haven't scrapped in a while. Maybe that's why I'm out of practice, but also I think probably bigger than that is just that I knew I wanted that title, and I knew I wanted those letters, and I wanted to make sure that everything was straight, which sometimes when you use flair, or anything with any sort of depth or height, I guess it would be, anything that sticks off the page like that makes it hard to use that T-square. So I thought I know it's going to go there. I might as well just stick it down. So I did. Okay, so I'm going to mess around with these flare buttons a little bit more and add some hearts. I end up adding from that same sticker sheet, those foam stickers, I end up adding a little phrase, I think, to one of those circles up top here in a second. The other thing, I don't add journaling on this, and usually I do add a lot of journaling, or at least some journaling to my pages, but I have actually scrapped pages from this trip multiple times. So I kind of feel like I've told a lot of the stories. And this particular photo with that title probably says enough, right? So I am adding some tangled thread underneath some of my flare buttons here. I think I add some underneath that pink circle that's up at the top, and pop that pink circle up off the page using a little bit of foam adhesive, just like I did my photo. So my flare is all linked below so that you will be able to see what I ended up using from what flare sets and so on. So I will link all that below so you can get a hold of that, because I think it comes from several different, if I remember right, it might be from a couple different sets. So I'll link that in the description box. And then I am just about finished, I think, here. I mean, I have about a minute or two left before the close-ups will come. So I've really enjoyed this blog hop. I hope that, or not blog hop, I don't know why I keep saying that, in the YouTube hop, is real fun. It's fun to watch what people have created, and based on the theme favorite escape. So I hope if you come to me, I'm one of the last ones on the hop. So hopefully if you come to me, you will, if you made it this far, you will have either looked at the other ones, or if you haven't, if you starts with me, make sure you go look at everybody else's YouTube channel and subscribe if you like them. Yeah, this is what I add. It says good vibes. And then the other thing I do add is I add the date up in the top left corner on that little circle that gets cut off. So here are my close-ups. I love that flamingo and good life. I love those flare the most, probably, of all of them. Yeah, so thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will hopefully see you now that summer is almost here. We have a week left of school. I will see you hopefully in more videos to come. Thanks a lot for stopping by.